The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Well, we've had a couple exciting nights, haven't we? My name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for the 16th day of August, 2023. We play the games of Thursday, October 4th, 2001. The Red Sox are down to 4 games left. They are 90-67. They will play the Orioles in a minute. And since the default screen for Action PC Baseball is Camden Yards in Baltimore, I almost went to switch it to something else and realized that no, that's exactly the way it's supposed to be. So the Red Sox are a game and a half behind the Yankees, and so we'll have verbal highlights of the Yankee-White Sox game after this one's over. How you doing, Steeler fan? Also, the National League East race is pretty much still a dead heat between the Marlins and the Phillies. And if it does go to a game 163, it will be in Florida. If you weren't with us last night, the Phillies and Braves played an absolute classic. Wowzers, we've had some good games. Also, NL wildcard race, the Cubs lead the Diamondbacks by 2 as we start the day today. So things coming into clearance. No one can clinch on this Thursday, the 4th of October. The Red Sox trying to hang in there and hold on to a chance to take out the Yankees. We have a real chance, and we'll know in about an hour or so whether or not the real-life world champion Diamondbacks just missed the playoffs entirely. The Cubs are that good. Red Sox a game and a half behind the Yankees. The Orioles, well, they're all over playing football at M&T Bank Stadium. However, Cal Ripken Jr. is playing today. So one last look at Cal and his career. Good morning, Bernie. The Red Sox, again, they have the easy route of it, but they still, with 4 games to go, somehow need to get a game and a half on the Yankees. It's a rainy night in Baltimore. Let's do it, shall we? As Retro Sports Network presents 2001 in Action PC Season Odyssey. Tonight, from Oriole Park at Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland, it is the Baltimore Orioles and the Boston Red Sox. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. It'll be Calvin Maduro who gets the call. The computer, by the way, is playing the Orioles. I'm playing the Red Sox. The Orioles are 55-102. This will be Maduro's last start of the year, considering it is the last Thursday of the season. 2-7, but don't let that record fool you. His ERA is .392. He's 26 years old, fastball at 89, and a ground ball pitcher. And Calvin, one of the 2 on the field this afternoon, last pitched against the Yankees on the 29th in a 2-1 win for Baltimore. Went 6 1/3, 83 pitches, 5 hits, a run was earned. He walked 2 and struck out 3. Overall, Maduro 66 2/3, 56 hits, 32 runs, 29 of them earned, 8 homers. He has walked 24 and struck out 43. This will be the Red Sox lineup he'll face. They really are kind of the underdog, the Red Sox. Not in this one, but can they really knock the Yankees out of first place? Chris Steins is in left field. This is not a lineup that tells me they are trying to win a division, but of course they were well out of it by then. He's in left, he'll lead off. Lou Merlone at short will bat second. Trot Nixon in center will go third. Brian Daubach in right field cleans up. Pickering, I have no idea who that is. He's a DH. He'll bat fifth. By the first week of October, I think I was pretty much watching football at that point. Burkhart at first In his 0.59 batting average will go 6th. Scott Hatterberg behind the plate goes 7th. Shea Hillenbrand at 3rd bats 8th. And Santos, that's Gil. No, it's not. At second base going 9th. And Hideo Nomo, who made his first start with the Red Sox way back in April and threw a no-hitter in this ballpark, will presumably make his last start of the year here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Let's set the Oriole defense for you. Tim Raines Jr. Who are those guys? They're Red Sox. I thought you would know who they are, Bernie. Raines is a 4 and a 2 and left. Oh, Timmy's a 4 and a 2 and left. His son is a 2 and a 2 in center. So Raines and his son in the lineup at the same time. Louis Matos is a 5 and a 6 in right. How you doing, Mike, for the truck? The retiring Cal Ripken Jr. is a 6 at third. Batista is a 4 at short. Jerry Harrison Jr. an 8 at second. Jeff Conine a 5 at first. Brooke Fordyce a 4 and a 1 behind the plate. And Calvin Maduro is a 6 on the mound with a 1,000 fielding percentage. Chris Steins at 272, 8 homers and 34 RBI. Rainy night here in Baltimore, 69 degrees as we get underway. Steins hits a ground ball to Cal. Standing ovation for that. Throws to first. And you know that a Red Sox player is obscure when Bernie goes, I've never heard of Pickering or Burkhart. Neither have I. Lou Berloni we've heard of. He's hitting 267, a homer and 13 RBI. Maduro deals. Merloni up the middle. Harrison by the bag at second over Conine for the out. 2 away for Trot Nixon. And if there's a reason why the Red Sox still have a puncher's chance with 4 days to go, it is Trot Nixon. He's hitting 304, 38 home runs, and he's driven in 101. His OPS is 1,024. How you doing, John? John, we'll get you the angina, the nitro for your angina in about an hour when we go through the rest of the day in baseball. Pitch to Nixon, struck him out. So Maduro gets the, well, retires the side in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. After half an inning, no score. So Hideo Nomo making his last start of the year. 11 at 8, 4.14 ERA. He's 32 years old. Throws a splitter, fastball at 94, and a standard pitcher. Again, he didn't no-hit Baltimore, but he's pitched extremely well against them in 3 starts. 20, yeah, it does, Bernie. 23 innings, 10 hits. Just the 1 run, 6 walks, and 29 strikeouts. 2-0 with an earned run average of .39. His last start was against the Tigers on September 28th. In fact, he hasn't won a game since August 24th. Tigers beat him 7-3, 5 2/3 innings, 135 pitches, 8 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned. He allowed 3 home runs. He's thrown 193 in the 3rd innings, 162 hits, 98 runs, 89 earned, 34 homers. He's walked 82 and struck out 208. Yeah, Bernie, having people like Trot Nixon overperform makes it fun. It makes it more unique to you, I think. You got a player that, well, Nixon is always reasonably well known here in Boston. But yeah, but to have that, yeah, I know him, he did this, and they're going to go to you. What? I hear you. I hear you. And so poor John midlife crisis, listened to that Phillies-Braves game early this morning. We don't sell defibrillators. I wonder if they would make us a custom defibrillator with a Retro Sports logo. Defensively for, let's do the Orioles lineup. Timmy Raines Jr. leads off in center field. Matos in right will bat second. Jeff Conine at first goes third. Richard, L. Richard, would that be Little Richard? Is a DH, he'll clean up. Batista at short batting 5th. Tim Raines Sr. in left will go 6th. Cal Ripken at third, batting seventh. Brooke Fordyce behind the plate eighth. And Harrison at second, going ninth. Maduro should throw about 100 pitches. He threw 14. Defensively for the Red Sox, Chris Stein's a 3 and a 1 in left. Nixon the 1 in center. He's a 3 and a 7. Brian Daubach a 3 and a 3 in right. Helen Brand a 4 at third. Barloni a 3 at short. Not Gil Santos a 2 at second. And not Kevin Burkhardt a 2 at first. Scott Hatterberg a 6 and a 1 behind the plate. Nomo is an 8 on the mound with a 973 fielding percentage. John says, I'd like to analyze the over and under performance to figure out why a team sim result was different in the real world. Well, I think in the Red Sox case, it's Trot Nixon. Tim Raines Jr. getting the chance to play in the same outfield as his dad, 1 for 5. And that's 200. On the real replay, 174, 4 for 23. Struck him out. Nomo got him to chase an 0-2 curve. John says in his 85 A's winning the division, in real life they were in the thick of it until a July swoon. Then they traded Sutton. In my replay, they didn't have the swoon and won the division. They could have used Sutton in the LCS. Who'd you play, Toronto or New York? Here's Louis Matos at 125. A homer and 2 RBI. This is definitely a late season lineup for the Orioles, who are 55 and 102. And he draws the walk. New York, okay. That brings up Jeff Conine at 302, 16 homers and 62 RBI. Matos a threat to steal, the throw to Burkhardt, and Lewis is back. The Yankees swept the A's in your 85. Conine into center. Nixon going back there, and that will be off the wall. Matos has speed to burn, will round third and hold. So for Conine, that's his 17th double. Chris Richard, the DH for Baltimore at 245, 19 homers and 68 RBI. Struck him out. That's 2 for Nomo. A 1-2 cutter swung on and missed. For Tony Batista, over from the Blue Jays at 244, 11 homers and 39 RBI. In Bernie's most recent 67 replay, Yaz has 54 homers. How far along are you, Bernie? It sounds like I'm asking him how far along. How far? What do you do? So Yaz has a chance to reach Roger Maris's 61. Runners here on second and third, 2 out for Batista. Nomo pitches, strike 3. He got the side. Baltimore gets a hit, and that's it. They'll leave on 2. No runs, no errors. We go to the second, no score. And Bernie is on August 15th in his 67 Red Sox replay. You doing as played, or is Conglignero going to get the chance to finish? Brian Daubach will lead off the second, by the way, for Boston. 275, 23 homers, and 71 RBI. Looks like those stats are dead on. Dauber, ground ball to Conine at first. 1 out. So here is Calvin Pickering, over from the Reds, hitting 262, 4 homers, and 11 RBI. So not just a complete scrub bat. This is game 168, by the way, or 158, by the way, for both teams. Pitch to Pickering. Ground ball to Batista, who throws it over to first for the out. As play with the exception that Tony C doesn't get injured. You're using replay for that? Here's Morgan Burkhardt. Now, that's a name I kind of remember. Not for this 1 for 17 performance. That's an 0.59 average with a walk and 9 strikeouts. Oh, nice. Okay. So 2 out for the world-famous Morgan Burkhardt. Fly ball to right. Matos going back, but will make the catch, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the second here in Baltimore. No score. So Raines, Ripken, and Fordyce, 2 Hall of Famers, and Brooke Fordyce. Tim, I don't think he was with the Expos in 01. 6 for 20 at the end of his career here. 3 homers and 5 RBI. And again, if you're going to play out the string, what a thrill it must be to play with your kid in the same outfield. The rain, by the way, here in Baltimore is stopped. 67 degrees. Pitch to Raines. Struck him out. Nomo has fanned 4. 2-2 splitter in there below the belt. Harrelson will not sign with the Red Sox. You doing a continuous project, or did they get Harrelson late in the year? Cal Ripken Jr., speaking of sunsets, at 229, 14 homers and 49 RBI. The Red Sox and Orioles close the season against each other, and so it would be a larger than usual crowd to see Cal close out his career. Have I ever played this game head-to-head over the internet? We've tried it once. It didn't work real well. You need Hamachi really in... Ugh. Pitch to Ripken. Cal in the left center. Nixon going back. Makes the catch. 2 out. So Kenny signed on August 31st. Okay, so that's... So Guglielmo will take Harrelson's place on the roster. Ken goes and joins the PGA Tour. He gone. Brooke Fordyce at 207, 2 homers and 24 RBI. Nomo winds and deals. That is a high fly ball to the left. Back goes Steins, and that is off the wall. So Fordyce is into second standing with his 24th double. And that'll bring up Jerry Hairston Jr. at 240, 11 homers, and 40 RBI. You know what game actually plays really easy over the net in your router? I suppose anything by Steam would do that too. I'll let you guess because it's not something you'd think. Pitch to Hairston. Ground ball to third. Hillenbrand across the way. Over to Burkhart, and Harrison is retired. Orioles get a hit, and that's it. No runs, no errors. They have left on 3. No score. Fortnite is an online game, silly. Of course it plays well online. When Charlie Finley released Hawk Harrelson, he said he was going to go play golf. That's why I made the joke about that. Game Ranger. Never heard of that one. Scott Hatteberg at 225, a homer and 19 RBIs. We start the 3rd. Hatteberg, ground ball to Conine. 1 out. Is that a relation, Mike, to Wasted Rock Ranger? The games that link up, I think, the easiest online as far as the sports sims. You're never going to believe this. Hillenbrand at 260. You shouldn't believe that either. 12 homers and 51 RBI. Is Strat. Never had a problem. Steve, Mike says, is okay. He did with pro strategy football, but can sometimes be hit or miss. You're gonna, if you do that, regardless of what it is, you need to have someone across the way that's really patient. Pitch to Hillenbrand. There's a base hit into right center field. Raines Jr. cuts it off, and Shea is going to test that arm for 2. The throw to Harrison, and they got him. They got him. So Hillenbrand is out trying to stretch that single into a double. That's the first hit for the Red Sox. Here is Angel Santos, who was 1 for 8. He went 2 for 16 on the real year. So 2 out, no score. Hillenbrand out trying to stretch that single into a double. Maduro deals. Santos a ground ball to Batista over to Conine, and the Red Sox are scoreless. No runs, another hit, or their first hit, no errors. After 2.5, no score. I've done 2nd and 10 through Hamachi. Here's Tim Raines Jr. He struck out his first time up. Nomo, opening 9, 48 pitches, 2 innings, 2 hits, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Struck him out. That's 5 for Nomo. So here's Mitos, who walked his first time up. And he walks him again. Why do you ask, Mike? Matos a threat to steal. Conine doubled his first time up, one of the 2 Oriole hits. Throw to first. And that's back. Now, when we spent the day doing Access and Allies, I think we did that through Steam, right? Matos goes, the throw down to Santos. They threw the pick off, and they got him. Hatterberg doesn't have much of an arm, but with the pitch out, they were able to throw him out. So 2 out. A 1-ball count to Conine, and nobody on. There's a ground ball to Burkhart. Morgan takes it to the bag himself, and that is the inning. We have played 3 in Baltimore. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Orioles. We go to the 4th, no score. So Maduro, opening 9 on 42 pitches. How you doing, Scotty? 3 innings for Maduro. A hit and a strikeout. Steins is 0 for 1. The lone hit, Hillenbrand single, and was thrown out trying to stretch it into a double. The Red Sox are 90 and 67. They trail the Yankees by a game and a half. Steins draws the walk. The Orioles are 55 and 102 when they trail the Yankees by more than a game and a half. Here's Lou Merlone. He's 0 for 1. Maduro deals. Ball 4. So the Red Sox have drawn a couple of walks for that man Nixon. Nixon struck out his first time up. Steins on second. Merlone on first. These 2 teams close against each other to finish the 2001 regular season. The Red Sox somehow, some way, need to gain a game and a half. Nixon laces this to center. Raines Jr. coming in. No, he can't get it. He thought he had it. And so the bases are loaded. And nobody out, as the runner will hold at third for Brian Dahlbach, who's 0 for 1. You believe it's Billy C's birthday today, okay? So they're loaded for Dahlbach in a scoreless game here in the 4th. Calvin Maduro from the stretch. Fly ball to right. That should score Steins. Matos runs it down in deep right center. Steins tags and will score. Matos actually had to jump and make that catch against the scoreboard. Ouch! 1-0 Red Sox on the sac fly. So here is the man, the myth, the legend, Calvin Pickering. So if you see Boston and Cincinnati in your immaculate grid, Calvin Pickering will get you a pretty good rarity score. Maduro deals. Fly ball left field. Back goes Raines. The daddy makes the catch on the warning track. Merlone will tag and hold with 2 out. So here's Morgan Burkhart. Morgan is 0 for 1. I got a letter this morning from a goat. You know, one of those, we've kidnapped your brother, please give us ransom. And I'll read it to you. It's rather disgusting. They wrote it on some sort of moldy cheesecake wrapper. Put the Dodgers in the playoffs or else. I don't get it. But, how you doing, Big Dave? Pitch to Burkhart. Struck him out. So Maduro gets out of it with just one run on a hit and no errors. We go to the bottom of the fourth. The Red Sox won, the Orioles nothing. So here are the standings up to the moment. If you did not catch last night's game, Philly beat Atlanta, and they remain tied with Florida. Atlanta is 2 back. Atlanta cannot win the wild card. They still can win the division, although it's pretty tough now. Florida goes into Atlanta for the weekend. Philly closes with the Reds. And in fact, we might have a doubleheader Friday because Philly and Cincinnati play one. The Central's done. Houston has won that. The Cubs have a 2-game lead with 4 to play for the NL wildcard. San Francisco clinched the West last night. The Goats reminded me of that was wrong, and I should change my mind. And they threatened to send more moldy cheesecake. Arizona is 2 games back. Philly and Florida are 3 back. And so realistically, it's the Cubs to lose, but it's still the Cubs. In the American League, the only race left is the Yankees and the Red Sox. The Yankees lead the Red Sox by a game and a half. However, the Red Sox are closing against the Orioles, who are, again, more than a game and a half back. And those are the stats for the American League on your screen. And Chris Richards steps in. He's 0 for 1. He struck out. Nomo winds and deals. Ground ball to Santos over to first. What? Oh, it's an error. That's an error, and Richard will go to second. And Keith Olbermann's bomb got nailed again. It's a good thing we bought her that Ken Dryden hockey mask. Here's Tony Batista. Tony struck out his first time up. So the tying run on second on the air for Baltimore. Batista swings. Ground ball to Merlone. Looks Richard back. Throws to first. And Richard goes to third. Mike's leaving me hanging here about whether I played this on the internet or not. Was there more to that or no? Here's Tim Raines Sr. He struck out his first time up. Runner on third. 1 out here in the fourth. The Red Sox won. The Orioles nothing. Struck him out. That's 6 for Nomo. He has struck out 214 now on the replay. Here's Cal. And, of course, every time Cal bats this final weekend in Baltimore, he's going to draw a standing ovation. So Nomo does a little bit of gardening behind the mound as the crowd pays tribute to Ripken once again. Runner on third is Richard, and Ripken draws the walk. So first and third, 2 out for Brooke Fordyce, who doubled his first time up. Nomo on 79 pitches with 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Runners on the corners. Red Sox lead at 1-0. And Hatteberg and Nomo go through the signs. Fordyce, a slow chopper to Merlone, and he's just going to eat it. Oh, he threw. Yep. So the game is tied on the infield hit by Brooke Fordyce. Somewhere, I hate to say this midlife crisis because I know you're still, on oxygen from last night's game. Paul Bacco, however, is having a good laugh at this. So 1-1 tie, 2 out here in the fourth for Jerry Harrison, who's 0 for 1. Liner down the line and left. Ripken is going to score. Steins gets it off the W.B. Mason sign. Ripken scores. Fordyce scores. And the Orioles go up 3-1. So Harrison Jr. his 19th double. 18 batters deep for Nomo. 90 pitches. 3 2/3. 4 hits. 3 walks and 6 strikeouts. Raines Jr. has struck out twice. So Nomo, in a game they really, really need, isn't giving it to him. Pitch to Raines. Struck him out again. But the damage is done. 3 runs for Baltimore. 2 hits and an error. After 4, it's Baltimore 3, Boston 1. Bernie says Pickering once hit a homer versus Pedro Martinez at Fenway in a World Team All-Stars future game. Wow. Dan Duquette remembered that home run, and when he was released by the Reds in August of 2001, he signed to give him a shot. That's a good story. As they trim the hedges behind me, Scott Hatteberg is 0 for 1. Pitch to Hatteberg, struck him out. So Cal Maduro pitching quite well. For Hillenbrand, singled and thrown out trying to stretch it into a double. Lines this one to left, Rain Sr., 2 out. So here's Santos, who's 0 for 1. Popped up. Fordyce doffs the mask and will make the catch. 66 degrees, beautiful day here in Burlington. Halfway home on a Wednesday, it's the Orioles 3, the Red Sox 1. Jordan Slate, here's how we got here. The Red Sox scored in the top of the 4th, a sac fly by Brian Daubach. And then in the bottom of the 4th, the Orioles sent 7 to the plate and scored 3. Brooke Fordyce singled home Richard to make it a 1-1 ball game, and then Jerry Harrison Jr. doubled home a run, or doubled home 2 to make it 3-1. So in this pitching matchup between Hideo Nomo and Calvin Maduro, you'd think Nomo would have the advantage, and you'd be wrong. All of Baltimore's runs are unearned. That came on the error by the second baseman. Nomo, 4 hits, 3 unearned runs. He's walked 3 and struck out 7. Maduro, 2 hits through 5. 1 run, it was earned. He's walked 2 and struck out 3. Matos has walked twice. Nomo starts the 5th and draws another walk. They got him. They caught him stealing this last time up. Here's Conine. Jeff, 1 for 2 with a double. Throw to first. Matos back. 3-1 Orioles here in the bottom of the 5th. Conine, base hit up the middle. So the Orioles in the process of playing spoiler on Cal Ripken's last season. In his last weekend, Chris Richard, no relation to Cliff, just a little in love as he's 0 for 2. Ready for his summer holiday, he has scored a run and struck out. Nomo deals, got him. That's 8 for Nomo, a 1-2 splitter on the inside part. Here's Tony Batista. Tony is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Nomo deals into center field. Nixon running over, makes the catch. Matos goes back to the bag and will hold. 2 out for Tim Raines. So, Tim Sr. has struck out twice. He's 0 for 2. And Nomo is probably going to be done after 5. Pitch to Raines. Struck him out. That's 9 for Nomo. No runs, a hit. The Orioles have left on 6. After 5, they still lead 3-1. So top of the lineup, Steins, Merloni, and Nixon to face Maduro. Calvin, 72 pitches through his first 18. 5 innings. 2 hits, 1 earned run. He's walked 2 and struck out 3. Steins has walked and scored. Chopper up the middle. Harrison gobbles it up like Pac-Man. Throws to first. 1 out for Merlone, who is 0 for 1 with a walk. We will tell you after we are done playing today's games what we'll have for you tomorrow, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Ground ball to Conine. 2 out. Burkhart, Bernie tells us, was the first Frontier League alumnus to play in the major leagues. He displayed power in the minors, appeared in 25 games for the Sox. That's how I knew him, after hitting 25 home runs in Pawtucket. Some symmetry in those numbers. Here's Trot Nixon, 2 out. Trot 1 for 2. He is singled and struck out. Maduro deals. Ground ball, base hit up the middle, and Trot Nixon is trying to single-handedly get the Red Sox into the postseason. Here's Brian Daubach. His sac fly in the 4th gave the Red Sox a 1-0 lead. He's 0 for 1. He's now driven in 72. Ground ball to Conine, and Jeff takes to the bag himself, and that will retire the side. Red Sox get a hit, and that's it. No runs, no errors. After 5.5, 3-1 Orioles. So new pitcher coming in. It'll be Timmy Wakefield. Wakefield 4-4, 2 saves, a 4.16 ERA. 34 years old, knuckleball pitcher. He throws the fastball at 89 and a ground ball pitcher. He last pitched against Tampa on the 1st in a 7-3 loss. Inning in 2/3, 50 pitches, 3 hits, 3 runs all earned. He walked 3 and struck out 1. Overall, Wakefield pretty much a Swiss Army knife. 123 in the 3rd innings, 122 hits, 61 runs, 57 earned, 8 home runs, 65 walks, and 119 strikeouts. Here's Cal. And in Baltimore, you don't need to put anything after that. He has walked, scored, and is 0 for 1. So again, the crowd rises as 1 for Ripken. Wakefield delivers, and Cal draws the walk. So here's Fordyce. Brook has had a whale of a ball game. He has singled, doubled, drove home a run, and scored. Fordyce, this might be 2. Merlone to Santos for 1, and Fordyce is going to reach as the throw to first is late. But as Ripken runs off the field, there are flash bulbs, we still have them in 2001, going off everywhere. Here's Jerry Harrison, 1 for 2, his double and is driven in 2. So for Ripken, it's kind of like an encore at a Britney Spears concert or a Taylor Swift concert. They just don't want him to go off the stage. Pitch to Harrison. Jerry, ground ball to first. Burkhart goes to Merlone for 1. And Harrison's going to reach on the fielder's choice, 2 out. For Tim Raines Jr. Gotta be a blast for some of these older players like Wakefield who pitched against Raines to sit there and pitch against somebody's kid. Anyway, Timmy Raines isn't covering himself in clover. He has struck out 3 times today. There goes Harrison to throw down to Merlone, and Jerry has his 32nd stolen base. Not like Timmy Raines Jr. did all that well in 2001 anyway. Got him. The knuckler cuts away, and that'll do it. Buddy Groom coming into pitch. We go to the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors. It's still the Orioles 3, the Red Sox 1. So Calvin Pickering, by the way, a reverse split hitter. Buddy Groom, a lefty, 63rd appearance, 2-10, 8 saves, a 5.40 ERA. Buddy is 35, a slider pitcher and a ground ball pitcher. Fastball tops out at 83. Groom pitched 2 nights ago against the Blue Jays in a 5-2 loss. 1 inning, 14 pitches, a hit and a strikeout. 66 2/3 for Buddy, 82 hits, 46 runs, 40 earned, 2 homers, 19 walks, and 57 strikeouts. Again, the splits favor Pickering, so he'll stay in the ballgame. He's 0 for 2, fly ball to right, Matos in the corner, 1 out. For Morgan Burkhart, we can start going to the bench, I would think. Dante Bichette will pinch hit at 176. A homer and 2 RBI. Overall hitting .321, 9 homers, and 51 RBI. It's only a 2-run ball game. Orioles lead 3-1. Bichette strikes out. He got him to look at a 1-2 fastball. 2 out for Hatterberg, who will stay in the ball game. He is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Cal Maduro pitched well. Him and Groom have held the Red Sox to 3 hits, with 2 out in the 7th. Struck him out. Stretch time. 3-1 birdies. So it'll be Bichette in right field. He is a 2 and a 5 out there. Dahlbach moves to his natural position of first, where he is a 5. Matos has walked 3 times. Wakefield starting the bottom of the 7th with a 3-1 deficit. Kicks and fires. Struck him out. He chased the Duckler on a 2-2, strike 3. So here's Conine. Jeff is 2 for 3 with a double. Fly ball to right. Bichette gonna get an immediate test with 2 out. So here's Chris Richard, who is 0 for 3, has struck out twice and scored. Fly ball, left center. Nixon will make the catch to retire the side. Chris Foster coming in to pitch for the Orioles. We go to the 8th. No runs, no hits, no errors. Orioles 3, Red Sox 1. Chris Foster, a household name in his own house. A little bit of peach fuzz on the chin. 26 years old, making his 5th appearance. Fastball at 94 and a ground ball plus pitcher. He last pitched 2 days ago against the Jays in a 5-2 loss, 2/3 of an inning, 10 pitches. Overall for Chris, 5 2/3, 4 hits, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Chris, coming up September 4th, is having his cup of coffee. And Geronimo Gill is going to play catcher. Gill better defensively than Fordyce. He's a 7 and a 3. Hillenbrand is 1 for 2, by the way. He was thrown out trying to stretch a single into a double. Struck him out. He got him to swing a 1-2 curve. So Jose Offerman will pinch hit for Santos here. Jose does not have a pinch hit. Overall at 296, 11 homers and 53 RBI. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Baltimore as we play the top of the 8th, 1 out. They have left on 7. The Red Sox, a run on 3 hits, an error, and they have left on 3. Pitch to Offerman. Ground ball to Batista. He has a long throw to first. Offerman's running, and he is out on the bang-banger. So 2 out for Steins, who is 0 for 2, a walk, and a run scored. So the Red Sox really needed this one. And with the exception of Trot Nixon, well, Hillenbrand was trying to be aggressive. He was trying to stretch that single into a double, and it didn't work. Steins 0 for 2 and goes to first. Did he walk? Oh, wow. He actually swung on and missed. It was strike 3, but Gill, on for his defense, dropped the ball, and Stein scampers down to first. So Foster has struck out 2, but still has a runner on. Here's Merlone. Lou is 0 for 2 with a walk. Got him again. So Foster technically strikes out 3, but not the side because there was 4 outs. No runs, no hits, no errors. Bottom of the 8th coming up. It's the Orioles 3, the Red Sox 1. Offerman stays in the game at second. He's a 4. Wakefield on for his 3rd inning. Batista, Raines, and Cal due up. Tony is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. In 1965, Cal Ripken Sr. managed Scotty's local Tri-City Adams. That sounds like something from The Simpsons. To the Northwest League pennant. His 5-year-old son had full run in the stadium that summer. They were the Adams due to the close proximity of the Hanford nuclear power plant. There are people with stories about, I'm sure, what a little hellion Cal Jr. was. Pitch to Melvin Moore is going to pinch hit. Moore, as a pinch hitter, has a solo homer hitting .214 with that 1 RBI. Overall, .231, 5 homers, and 48 RBI. And that's a base hit into right field. Nixon will pick it up. So a Moore go for 2. Nope. And so Brian Roberts will pinch run at first. Brian gets a good hand. Here's Tim Raines. He has struck out all 3 times. Wakefield throws to first. Oh, it sounds like there's a story there. An anonymous poster, the same one that pretends that his goats send me hate mail, says, us teenagers weren't too fond of the little brat. Oh, do tell. So Rain stays in the ball game in the center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. So Roberts will hold at second, and here comes Cal to a thunderous ovation. Cal has walked twice and scored. He's 0 for 1. So Roberts on second, Raines on first. The Orioles leading 3-1, nobody out, bottom of the 8th. The Red Sox pen is up and stirring. He did retire after this weekend. Ripken drops one down to throw to third. Merlone is there and makes the play. So Cal kind of giggling at first base. He dropped down a bunt. 1 out, first and second. The bunt doesn't work. Here's Geronimo Gil at .233 and 2 RBI. So first and second, 1 out. Wakefield deals. Struck him out. So 2 away. And that'll bring up Harrison Jr. In 1966, Duke Snyder was the manager of that team up in the northwest part of the country, cementing your Dodger fandom for life. That's a good story. He's not going to tell us why he called Cal Jr. a brat, but we will talk about the Dodgers. Jerry Harrison is 1 for 3. He doubled and drove in 2 in the 4th, which might be the last nail in the Red Sox coffin for 2001. Wakefield deals. Harrison into left field. That ball's well hit. Steins goes back, makes the catch, and that will retire the side. Mike Trombley trying to close the door for the birdies. No runs. They get 2 hits and no errors. We go to the 9th at Camden Yards. It's the Orioles 3, the Red Sox 1. Helps if you put the mouse in the right spot. Trombley making his 48th appearance, 1-4, 5 saves, and a 3.18 ERA. Trombley is 34, fastball at 93, and a standard pitcher. Has closed 5 of 6 save opportunities, including his last 2, one up at Fenway, a 5-4 win on the 27th. He last pitched on the 29th, so he's on 5 days rest. 2-1 victory over the Yankees where he picked up the save. 1 clean inning on 10 pitches. I've heard nothing, by the way, but good things about Duke Snider as a person. 62 in the 3rd innings for Mike, 49 hits, 24 runs, 22 earned, 7 homers. He's walked 19 and struck out 60. So Trot Nixon, who has been the Red Sox most valuable player by far this year, is 2 for 3. He has singled twice and struck out. Boston needs 2 to tie and 3 to go ahead. Excuse me. Pitch to Nixon. High ground ball to Conine, 1 out. So if the Yankees win, they'll have clinched a tie, I believe. Magic number is 4, so no, the Yankees cannot clinch a tie. Brian Daubach is 0 for 2. Has driven in a run. Fly ball, shallow right. Matos coming in, and there's 2 out. And we'll pinch hit for Pickering. It'll be Manny. The 65 team featured the legendary Steve Dolkowski in his final year of organized ball. We idolized him despite his troubles. John, you didn't miss much. It was a 2-run double by Jerry Harrison in the 4th to make it 3-1 Baltimore, and that's been about it. We'll get to the rest of the day in baseball in a moment as the Red Sox have their last chance saloon. Manny at 311, 46 homers, and 140 RBI. Yeah, this one was kind of a fizzler, Dave. Pitch to Ramirez. There's a base hit into left center field, and so the tying run is on. And that is Dante Bichette, who struck out his first time up. So we've tried to get the Red Sox bats in the ball game that weren't necessarily starting. Must be hot up. Yeah, not good for the Sox. It's 66 here in Burlington. So start from the beginning. At first, there were dinosaurs. But Carl Everett decided he didn't want to play for the Red Sox, and they got rid of their dinosaur. He was indeed a Stegosaurus. So Bichette, again, last chance saloon. He struck out as a pinch hitter and then stayed in the game and right as Daubach moved to first. So 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors. The Orioles have left 9 on. Stay with us after this last out as we play the rest of the meaningful day of baseball. Red Sox will run on 4 hits and error, and they've left on 4. Gill and Trombley have a word, and that word is Ratcast. Pitch to Bichette, ground ball to short. Brian Roberts throws to second, and the Red Sox have lost. The Orioles 3, the Red Sox 1. First they were dinosaurs, then they all got fat, ignored the big rock coming at them from the sky, and died. And fortunately, at your Union 76 dealer, they turned into the oil that fuels your car. So it was bad luck for the dinosaurs, but high octane for you at the Spirit of 76. Yeah, that's true. You really could just, not much you can do about the rock coming at you. So in 3 hours and 22 fake minutes. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that wasn't... We tried to do our best with that. But you can only make so much lemonade with lemons. 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Baltimore. They left on 9, 1 run, 4 hits, and an error for Boston, and they left on 5. Brooke Fordyce is going to be your digital dice MVP. He went 2 for 3 with a double. Nomo goes to 11 and 9, 3 unearned runs. The Red Sox, the fact that they're even playing meaningful baseball is a tribute to just how well the computer handled them. The Orioles go to 56 and 102. Maduro gets his 3rd win, a good way to go into winter for him. That's right. It's the meteor shower. So the Yankees' magic number is 3. Remember, the Red Sox and Orioles have a doubleheader. All right. Let's do the Yankee game next. The lead goes back to a 1.5 games. The Yankees can't help it. Tampa beats them 7-1. Steve Cox and Aubrey Huff with big home runs, so the Yankees can't do anything. Adrian Hernandez pitched poorly for 4 and took the loss. So the Red Sox aren't quite done yet. 7-13-1 for the Rays, 1-6-1 for the Yankees. Beer and Brat with a big win. So it remains a 1.5 games, but the magic number is now 3. All right, you ready? Well, we can do the Arizona game next. Arizona behind Kim shuts out Colorado 4-0. They beat Denny Nagle. Louis Gonzalez hit his 53rd of the year in the 7th. So the Diamondbacks are 85 and 74. Colorado, again, officially eliminated with that. Where are the Cubs? They play the Reds. Kerry Wood trying to give Colorado a 2-game lead with 3 to go. Does he do it? Yes. In 12 innings, they beat the Reds 7-6. So Chicago goes into the last weekend of the season with the 2-game lead with 3 to go in the wild card. Ricky Gutierrez, a single in the game-winning single in the 12th. Sammy Sosa tied the ball game in the bottom of the 9th. I wonder if that was Danny Graves undoing again. Was it? Yes. Big Clue told me about Danny Graves, and Graves blows the save. Jose Rio? Is it that Jose Rio? Anyway, so the Cubs lead the D-backs by 2 with 3 left. When is the first Dodgers first playoff game? Sometime next August. Maybe. All right, you ready? Let's do the National League East, 1988. Yeah. All right, Florida shuts out Montreal 3-0. Brad Penny gets the win. He goes 7 innings. Mike Lowell and Kevin Millar. Really, they're going to get Florida in the playoffs, aren't they? 3-6-1 for Florida, 0-5-2 for the Expos. Yeah, Brad Penny was a goalie for Montreal, and J.C. Penny saved you some money. So Florida by half a game. And Atlanta beats Philadelphia 5-4. So Florida leads Philly by a game and Atlanta by 2 with 3 to go. What happened? It was a decent effort by Philadelphia. Travis Lee tied it in the 4th with a monster home run. A penny would you spend for someone's thoughts? John Burkett, the pitcher, a sac fly, made it 4-3 Atlanta. Marcus Giles made it 5-3 on the fielder's choice. Doug Glanville made it 5-4 in the 6th, and the Braves' pen shut them down. Remlinger and Smoltz hold the door shut, and so the Braves win 5-4. The Marlins are in town for the weekend. Philadelphia has some work to do. That margin is 1. I believe we got everything that means something. Cincinnati in their game struck out 16 times. Sammy Sosa with 4 hits. The rest of the day in baseball, Minnesota 6-2 over the Tigers. Mays with a win, 17-10. Pettyjohn 1-4. Damian Easley hits his 9th. St. Louis beats Milwaukee 9-5. Matt Moore is 17-7. Haynes 4-16. Fernando V, 2 for 4, his 7th of the year, and drives in 4. San Francisco and Houston have an interesting thing because they wouldn't obviously play a playoff game for a home field, but they beat the Astros 5-1. We go in the last 3 days of the year, and it's just a 1-game lead. Russ Ortiz 16-4, Malecki 2-6, Marvin Menard hits his 15th. 4 for 5. Cleveland beats Kansas City 8-5. Bartolo Colon 15-5. Chad Durbin 9-13. Ellis Burks 2 for 4, 17th of the year, and drives in 2. Padres beat the Dodgers 5-1. Middlebrook 1-0. Prokopek 7-9. Goodwin 1 for 4, hits his 3rd of the year. Seattle in 11 beats Texas 4-3. Norm Charlton 3-1. Pat Mahomes, the father, not the son, 3-8. Al Martin Volvo 2 for 4, hits his 6th. The Mariners 109 game winners. Anaheim beats Oakland 3-1. Valdez 6-11. Mark Mulder 14-10. Scully not impressed, and Mia Dish gets his first save. All right, tomorrow we will do. If I picked a game, I have not. I'm not going to do Boston and Baltimore. We will do Florida and Atlanta. Philadelphia and Cincinnati are rained out. So Florida and Atlanta. Atlanta 2 back. Florida can knock them out with a win. And so that's that for that. All right, there you go. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be with you tomorrow at noon for Florida and Atlanta. And chances are we'll have a doubleheader for you Friday at 11:30 between Philadelphia and Cincinnati. So catch us for that, won't you? We'll talk to you soon. Have a good day, everybody. So long.